Ayrton Senna arrived in Formula One. He was a young Brazilian with a fierce gaze. His talent was raw, it was undeniable. From his first races, people knew. They knew he was special. He did not just want to compete, he wanted to dominate. He drove with a passion rarely seen before. His presence changed motorsport forever. He was a new kind of hero for a new era. What set Senna apart was not just his speed, it was his incredible intensity. His deep concentration was legendary. He seemed to exist on a different plane behind the wheel. For Senna, racing was more than a sport. It was a spiritual quest, a way to find his own limits and then to push beyond them. This relentless pursuit of perfection captivated everyone who watched him. He was utterly committed to his craft. His journey began in karting, like many greats, but his ascent was rapid. He conquered British Formula Ford, then British Formula 3. He arrived in Formula One in 1984 with the Toleman team. It was a small team, yet Senna made the car do impossible things. He scored points. He even challenged for victory in the rain at Monaco. The world of motorsport sat up and took notice. A star was truly being born. Senna's importance grew far beyond the racetrack. He became a symbol of hope and pride for Brazil. He carried the weight of a nation on his shoulders. He raced with their flag after victories. His success brought joy to millions. He was more than a driver. He was an inspiration. A man who showed what was possible with dedication and belief. His name became synonymous with greatness in racing. Rain is the great equalizer in motorsport. It washes away the advantages of powerful cars. It highlights pure driver skill. For most drivers, rain meant caution. It meant uncertainty. But for Ayrton Senna, rain was an opportunity. It was a canvas on which he painted masterpieces. He seemed to have a sixth sense in wet conditions. He found grip where others found none. His control was simply breathtaking. His performance at the 1984 Monaco Grand Prix was legendary. He was a rookie in an uncompetitive Toleman. The rain poured down relentlessly. Yet Senna carved his way through the field. He passed world champions with ease. He was catching the leader, Alain Prost, when the race was controversially stopped. Many believed he would have won. Then came Donington in 1993. In one of the greatest laps in F1 history, he went from 5th to 1st in the pouring rain. It was pure genius. How did he do it? His car control was sublime. He had an intuitive feel for the car's limits. He could dance the car on the very edge of adhesion. He used the throttle and steering with surgical precision. He often explored different lines on the track. He searched for patches of tarmac that offered more grip. This intelligence, combined with his bravery, made him almost unbeatable when the heavens opened. He made the impossible look routine. There was an almost mystical connection between Senna and the rain. He seemed to welcome the challenge it presented. He drove with a serene confidence, a fearlessness that bordered on the supernatural. While others struggled, he excelled. The falling rain did not obscure his vision. Instead, it seemed to sharpen his focus. His performances in the wet were not just victories. They were demonstrations of supreme artistry and control. They defined his legend. Ayrton Senna possessed a unique driving technique. It allowed him to gain precious fractions of a second. He was a master of braking incredibly late into corners. He would push his car to the absolute limit, then even more remarkably, he would get on the power very early, often while the car was still unsettled. This aggressive style demanded immense skill. It required total confidence in his own abilities and his machine. This technique of late braking and early acceleration was devastating for his rivals. They would see Senna's car dive inside them at a braking point, a point they thought was already the maximum. He could carry more speed through the apex. He could get a better exit onto the following straight. This relentless pressure often forced others into mistakes. It was a key part of his armory, a weapon he used to dominate qualifying and races alike. He redefined what was possible in a corner. To drive like this required extraordinary physical and mental strength. The G-forces were immense. The car would be on a knife edge. One tiny misjudgment could lead to a spin or a crash. Senna's concentration levels were phenomenal. He could process information at incredible speed. He could make minute adjustments in milliseconds. His precision was that of a surgeon. His commitment to each corner was total and unwavering. He pushed himself and his car beyond perceived limits. This signature style was more than just a way to be fast. It was an expression of Senna's personality. It showed his aggressive spirit, his unwillingness to compromise, his absolute desire to be the quickest. He attacked every corner, he attacked every lap. This approach made him thrilling to watch. It also made him a formidable competitor. His ability to dance on the very edge of control set him apart from all others. He was a true artist of speed. Section 4, the pursuit of perfection, unwavering speed and dominance. Ayrton Senna's quest for perfection was most evident in qualifying. He was the undisputed king of the single fast lap. His record of 65 pole positions stood for many years. On a Saturday afternoon, with fresh tires and low fuel, he was magical. He would enter an almost trance-like state. He pushed himself and his car to find that perfect lap. Often his pole position margins were astonishing. He left his rivals bewildered, wondering where he found the extra time. But Senna was not just a qualifying specialist. He knew how to convert those pole positions into dominant race victories. He would often build a significant lead in the early laps. Then he would control the race from the front. His pace was relentless. He rarely made mistakes under pressure. He could manage his tires. He could manage his fuel. He could respond to any challenge from behind. His ability to dictate a race was a hallmark of his greatness. His consistency in maintaining fast lap times was remarkable. Even when leading comfortably, he would often continue to push. He wanted to set the fastest lap of the race. He wanted to demonstrate his superiority. This was not arrogance, it was his way of striving for perfection on every single lap. He never settled for good enough. He always wanted more. He always believed he could go faster. This mindset kept him at the pinnacle of the sport. This unwavering speed had a profound psychological impact on his opponents. They knew that Senna would be quick in any car, in any conditions. They knew he would fight for every tenth of a second. This constant pressure could be overwhelming. It forced them to push beyond their own comfort zones, sometimes leading them to errors. Senna's dominance was built not just on raw speed. It was built on relentless consistency and an unyielding will to win. Section 5. A different caliber, how rivals viewed the maestro. Ayrton Senna was a force of nature on the racetrack. His fellow drivers knew they were competing against someone extraordinary. There was a mixture of respect, awe, and sometimes frustration. Many acknowledged that he operated on a higher level. His commitment was total. His focus was absolute. He pushed the boundaries of what was considered possible in a racing car. This made him a fearsome competitor, one who demanded the best from everyone else. His rivalry with Alain Prost is one of the most famous in sporting history. They were teammates, they were bitter rivals. Prost was the professor, a calculated and smooth driver. Senna was all passion and raw speed. Their battles were intense. They often spilled over into controversy, yet even Prost, his fiercest adversary, acknowledged Senna's incredible talent. He knew Senna was perhaps the fastest driver he had ever faced. Their duels defined an era of Formula One. Younger drivers looked up to Senna with immense admiration. He set a new benchmark for speed and dedication. Future world champions like Michael Schumacher and Mika Häkkinen saw Senna as the standard. They studied his techniques. They learned from his approach. He inspired them to push themselves harder, to reach for new levels of performance. His influence extended far beyond his own generation of racers. He showed them the path to greatness. On the track, Senna had an almost intimidating presence. He was uncompromising in his racing. He would fight for every inch of tarmac. Some drivers found his aggression difficult to handle, but it was part of what made him Senna. He raced with his heart on his sleeve. He gave everything he had. This intensity, this sheer will to win, is what separated him. It is what made other drivers acknowledge that he was truly of a different caliber. Section 6, Black Sunday, the day the music stopped at Imola. The San Marino Grand Prix at Imola in 1994 was a dark weekend. The air was heavy with a sense of foreboding. Rubens Barrichello had a frightening crash on Friday. Roland Ratzenberger tragically lost his life in qualifying on Saturday. The sport was already in shock. Ayrton Senna was deeply affected by these events. He carried an Austrian flag in his cockpit. He planned to wave it after the race in Ratzenberger's memory, a race he would never finish. On Sunday, May 1st, the race began. Senna led from pole position. Then on lap 7, his Williams car left the track. It happened at the high-speed Tamburello corner. It slammed into the concrete wall. The world watched in stunned silence. The vibrant yellow helmet was motionless in the shattered blue and white car. There was a terrible stillness. Rescue workers rushed to his side. The red flags waved. The race was stopped. But everyone knew this was more than just an accident. Millions around the globe held their breath. They waited for news. Hours passed. The updates were grim. Professor Sid Watkins, the Formula One doctor and Senna's friend, fought to save him, but the injuries were too severe. Later that afternoon, the official announcement came. Ayrton Senna was gone. The news sent a shockwave across the world. Disbelief turned to profound grief. Formula One had lost its brightest star. Brazil had lost its beloved hero. The sense of loss was overwhelming. It was felt far beyond the world of motorsport. Senna was more than just a racing driver. He was an icon, a symbol of courage, passion, and determination. His death left a void that could never be filled. People openly wept in the streets of Sao Paulo. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe. The sport of Formula One was forced into a period of deep reflection. Safety would have to change. The music, for a time, had truly stopped. Section 7, The Eternal Flame, Senna's enduring inspiration. Ayrton Senna's legacy extends far beyond his 3 world championships. It goes beyond his impressive tally of wins and pole positions. His true legacy lies in the spirit he embodied, the passion he ignited in millions of people. He showed the world what it meant to pursue a dream with total dedication. He demonstrated how to face challenges with courage. He never gave up. He always strived for more. This spirit continues to inspire. He became an idol for a new generation of racing drivers. Many current stars on the Formula One grid cite Senna as their hero. They grew up watching his incredible performances. They were captivated by his skill and his charisma. Lewis Hamilton, himself a multiple world champion, has often spoken of Senna's influence on his career. Senna set a standard of excellence, a benchmark that drivers still aspire to reach. His impact on young racers is immeasurable. Beyond the track, Senna had a deep love for his country, Brazil. He was passionate about helping disadvantaged children. Before his death, he had spoken of his plans to create an organization dedicated to providing opportunities for young Brazilians. His family made this dream a reality. The Ayrton Senna Institute was founded shortly after his passing. It has helped millions of children receive better education and a chance for a brighter future. His compassion lives on through this work. Though decades have passed since that tragic day at Imola, Ayrton Senna's memory remains vivid. He is still remembered as one of the greatest drivers of all time, perhaps the greatest. His posters still adorn bedroom walls. His highlights are still watched with awe. He remains a hero, a legend. His flame did not die on May 1st, 1994. Instead, it became an eternal flame, one that continues to light the way, inspiring us all to chase our own limits with passion and with heart.